Welcome back, my fellow mobile gamers of YouTube. My name is NimbleThor, and I've got 3 new games with me here today that I really enjoyed playing last week, one of which I just became a complete addict to, by the way. And so I hope that you guys are gonna love these games as well. There's lots of good stuff in here today. I'm gonna cover everything from a brilliant text-based MMORPG to a loot-based action RPG made by a Japanese indie developer, and then lastly, a great party game for playing with friends that is disguising itself as a multiplayer side-scrolling platformer by Half-Break Studios. Now, I've got my favorite game of the week saved for last as always, but I hope you guys are gonna enjoy all of this week's games, and do let me know which one you like the best in the comment section down below, because then let's just jump straight into today's first game, which is Labyrinth Legend. And this game is an isometric action dungeon crawler RPG that doesn't have high quality graphics, but it makes up for that with fun, loot-based gameplay and interesting and challenging boss fights, and by the way, a really great monetization system. So with pets, lots of weapons with unique attributes, and randomly generated dungeons, this game feels a bit like what you'd expect to see in a roguelike game, although in Labyrinth Legend, our character and our gear is actually persistent, which is really great if you're an RPG fan. Now, the combat in this game is great in its own right, but it is truly the many really crazy weapons that makes me a huge fan of this game. Now, monetizing through only a few incentivized video advertisements and then a single $3 in-app purchase to remove advertisements completely from the game, there's really nothing to complain about in that regard either. So the game is offline playable, it takes up only 218 megabytes of space, it's available on Android and on iOS already, and of course it's an easy recommendation for fans of action dungeon crawler RPGs, so if that's you, then be sure to take this game for a spin. So what is next on this virtual buffet of great mobile games that is this episode? Well, next up, we've got Battle Racing Stars, which is a hectic multiplayer side-scrolling platformer runner from the Jetpack Joyride developer Half-Break Studios. And the game has us compete against 3 other players in real-time multiplayer to complete a level faster than any of our opponents, using weapons and abilities to delay the other players by attacking them or boosting our own speed for a bit. I guess it's almost a bit like a Mario Kart game, but set in 2D and then as a side-scrolling platformer game instead. So between matches, we open wait time card packs, and then we use their content to unlock and level up a wide variety of heroes. There are about, I think, 10, maybe 15 heroes in the game already, and they all have unique attributes. Now, the levels and the races themselves are based on a league system where we progress from division to division if we continue winning, and then an energy-gated arcade mode for more casual matches. I do feel like these matches are almost inevitably filled with bots though, but the game really shines as a party game to play with friends in friendly 4-player PvP matches, and played this way, it's one of the more fun casual party games that I've found on mobile so far. So monetization of this game happens through constant incentivized video ads, really truly constant incentivized video ads. They pop up all the time and they do become somewhat frustrating, and then in-app purchases to unlock and level up new heroes faster. The game requires online access, it takes up 232 megabytes of space, it's out on Android and on iOS, and while not a perfect multiplayer PvP game to play alone, it is one of the better party games I've tried, and because of that, I'm confident recommending it to you guys. But now then, for my favorite game of the week, Titan Conquest. And this game is a text-based MMORPG for mobile and browsers that I've just really fallen in love with. The game features an insane amount of loot, like there's just an almost impossible amount of loot in this game. I don't know how they're doing that if they're procedurally generating it, but there's really a lot. And there's an elaborate stat system for our character, a very friendly community, huge server-wide boss fights, and actual interesting quests, many of which have been written by community members themselves and then submitted to the game. Now, at the core of any good MMORPG is of course its combat and progression system. And in Titan Conquest, combat consists of tapping to use one of 3 different weapon types. We've got a primary gun, a special gun, and a heavy gun. And we use these weapons to deal with a wide variety of creatures across the very large in-game game world. And the more we kill off a specific type of creature, the more gold and the more XP we'll earn from future encounters with that creature type. So we basically become more proficient at defeating that creature, which can be used to our advantage, of course, during grinding. So if you really want to optimize, there are many ways to optimize your strategies in this game. And I guess in that sense, it's a really great game for any min-maxers out there. As an MMORPG, Titan Conquest is of course very social, but it features no PvP yet, which means that the monetization will at most make us progress faster. However though, premium currency is actually also earned for free simply while fighting monsters or selling items to other players, or even, as I did, inviting other players into the game. So if you've got a couple of friends, make sure that they select you as the person who referred them to the game. So the primary reason to buy in-app purchases in this game would basically be to support the solo indie developer. The game requires online access, it takes up only 42 MB of space, it's out on Android, iOS, and it can also be played in any browser across PC and mobile, and this game has got me completely hooked this week. And despite being text-based, it actually offered me what I think is one of the best MMORPG experiences I've ever had on mobile. I didn't really expect that I would say that about a text-based MMORPG, but I don't know, man, I just really fell in love with this one. So it's an easy recommendation, as it's obviously my favorite game of the week, and I hope that you guys will enjoy it as well if you decide to dive into it. So there we go, my friends. That was all I had for you guys today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already. Leave a like on your way out, and most importantly, until next time, just keep gaming, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys around.